They were cases that haunted communities, baffled investigators, and broke hearts, left to gather dust in the evidence rooms of time. But sometimes, the past refuses to stay buried. Welcome to Cryptic Crimes Chronicles. In today's episode, we unravel the chilling stories of cold cases, long forgotten, until justice came knocking decades later. These are the mysteries that time couldn't hide forever. It was Valentine's Week, 1974, in Fort Worth, Texas. Carla Walker, a 17-year-old high school student, went to a Valentine's dance with her boyfriend. But what should have been a night of teenage memories turned into a nightmare. After the dance, while sitting in a car with her boyfriend, Carla was abducted by a man wielding a pistol. Her body was found days later in a ditch, beaten, raped, and murdered. For decades, her family mourned with no answers. Leads went cold, suspects came and went. But in 2020, nearly 46 years later, DNA evidence linked an unlikely man, Glenn Samuel McCurley, to the crime. He was arrested and confessed during a recorded interview. He stalked California for over a decade, committing at least 13 murders, 50 rapes, and over 100 burglaries. He was called the East Area Rapist, the original Night Stalker, until years later, when they all realized he was the same man, the Golden State Killer. For decades, the case sat cold. Police had his DNA, but no match. Then, in a groundbreaking twist of fate, genetic genealogy changed everything. Investigators uploaded the DNA to a public ancestry database, building a family tree that led to one man, Joseph James DeAngelo, a former police officer. In 2018, DeAngelo was arrested, unmasking the monster behind the mask after more than 40 years of terror. Christine Jessop was just 9 years old when she disappeared from her Ontario home in 1984. Her body was found months later, raped and murdered. A local man, Guy Paul Morin, was convicted, but DNA evidence later exonerated him. For years her killer remained unknown. Then, in 2020, genetic genealogy once again helped identify the real perpetrator, Calvin Hoover, a friend of the family. He had died by suicide in 2015, but science had finally caught up with his ghost. The truth was painful, but it brought peace to a family that had waited nearly 4 decades. In 1961, Mary Jane Thompson, a 21-year-old secretary in Dallas, was found raped and strangled behind a dental clinic. Despite a high-profile investigation, the case faded into obscurity for over 60 years. But in 2023, modern forensic science, specifically DNA phenotyping and investigative genealogy, identified her killer, James Earl Crummell, a convicted child molester who had already committed suicide in 2004. These stories remind us that time may bury the truth, but it can never destroy it. Thanks to relentless detectives, emerging science, and the power of perseverance, justice still has a voice, even decades later. If you found this episode as chilling as we did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more deep dives into true crime's darkest corners. This is Cryptic Crimes Chronicles, where the past is never truly gone. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.